I come before you tonight to report on the State of the Union for the third time. Tonight, the cup of peril is full in Vietnam.
Well, when I first got home from college, about 2 days after that, I got the letter from the draft board to take my physical. And we went and took our physical about a week later. And about a week after that, I had Uncle Sam has invited you to join the service. My first day there was quite an experience. One that I really don't want to remember, but you made it through it, and I remember we returned to base camp a day or two later, and I thought, wow, this is over with. Yeah. And then the next day we took off and went out in the sticks again, and the next time I returned to base camp, it was after I'd been shot. We ended up getting pinned down with a guy running a machine gun. And I got the word back that a friend, was not just a friend, but there was a couple of guys hit. So that was my job to go see if I could help them. And I got down to where they were injured, and the lieutenant told me one guy was laying out there about 20, 30 feet from where I was at. Happened to be in a canal with about chest water deep, staying out of the line of fire, and the other guy was probably laying out there another 50 yards. And I went out to get the guy that was close enough to me, and he cut loose with his machine gun and caught me right in this area here. It was just a burning sensation. I got back down and I went back, squiggled back around and to grab a hold of a buddy of mine, and I had to get up on my shoulder, and I got hit on the other side, and I couldn't get a hold of him and drag him back because I was too wounded to do that. And some of the other guys got me out of the canal and dragged me back to safety, and I remember just sitting there waiting for the chopper coming in, and another medic had come and taken care of me, give me some morphine for the pain, and I was on a high from the morphine, and when that chopper come in to get us, I had to go through the rice paddy, and I do not remember walking in the water. I remember walking on the water. And I spent probably 3-4 months out in the sticks, and the hospital wasn't where I wanted to go back to, but it was a necessity. I spent a month in the hospital in Vietnam. I had the artery in my arm had blown out, and they took the vein out of my leg and put in my arm to save my arm. I had to spend a month there because the atmospheric conditions, I thought, would probably blow that artery back out of my leg and I'd bleed to death in the plane. From there, I ended up in Japan, Tokyo, for hospital there for a week to 10 days. And then they flew me back to the States, which I ended up in Fort Riley, Kansas, which I ended up from the day that I'd got shot until the day that I had got discharged from the Army was right at 11 months.
Longfellow, medevac choppers bring the wounded to the field hospital at Dock Pro. Emergency treatment is...
Two of the guys that got shot that day were from Iowa. They were all there for the same reason. We'd all been drafted. You didn't get real close with them because, our platoon, when I first got there and went out, the guy that was one of the older guys in the unit has told me, like, about a month before I got there, the whole unit but 3 guys had been wiped out. So everybody had been there that length of time, or less. And the sergeant that told me that, one of the first days after I had got there, we got to what we thought was a pretty safe place, and it ended up a gook kid had thrown a grenade at us, and he got hit with the fragments of that. Got the bleeding stopped on him, and they evacuated him. And all of us had been out in the sticks less than a month. We were all new. So the life expectancy when you were going out in the sticks with the company that I was with wasn't too long.
Anti-war demonstrators protest U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War in mass marches, rallies, and demonstrations. Central Park is the starting point for the parade to the UN building. The estimated 125,000
there were so many people against the war. Not that there weren't people in the local community that didn't support it, but they support the individual. And I think a lot of the disrespect come from the community that didn't support the war. But, taking that out on the servicemen that come home was very disrespectful.